Okay, guys, welcome back to part 2 of the Kelsey Berreth update. Okay, I have some new information for you, but first I want to do catch up for all those people just starting with this story. We have the Kelsey Berreth case. Kelsey Berreth is a young flight instructor in Colorado. She moved there to be closer to her fiance, Patrick Frazee. Kelsey was last seen at the Safeway grocery store Thanksgiving Day, November 22nd, with her daughter that she had with Frazee. They ended up looking into Patrick Frazee and arresting him December 21st. Then a custody battle began between Sheila Frazee, Patrick Frazee's mother, and Berreth's mother. Berreth's mother ended up getting temporary custody. We found out later that there was a mistress possibly involved, that she was a mistress, and that she had part to do with disposing of Kelsey Berreth's phone, possibly. And it was found 600 miles away from Berreth's home, close to Krystal Lee's house.
I'm Joe Rockstar, and this is the face of a local lawyer you can trust. I was the driver. I've been where you are right now. Let my experience help you. Call and let my team.
Yes, so that's Mr. Rockstar doing a commercial for his office. He's an attorney, and this is his wife, Patty. He is with his wife here, Patty, and they come forward to share a story after a $25K reward was offered, which has been kind of a finger pointing issue for them ever since. Whether that was the case, that they did it for the reward, we don't know, but supposedly they have a girl that works for their office that is best friends with Krystal Lee. She come to them, we don't have dates of when she come to them, telling them that her best friend was asked to kill his wife, which would be Kelsey Berreth. Patty mentioned that she would have turned him in sooner, but she didn't really put the dots together until after the reward was offered. And she said all she knew was his first name was Patrick. So long story short, so we can catch up, these guys have some information to give out that we're probably not getting at all. Okay, now we're moving on to some new information. We'll cover Patrick Frazee's arrest, and then go over the new information I found today on Kelsey's potential whereabouts. Okay, so the teller counter investigators have yet to detail specific allegations that led to the solicitation counts. It likely means prosecutors think Frazee allegedly solicited an individual 3 times, or 3 people on 3 separate occasions as part of an alleged murder plot. According to the charging documents, prosecutors filed 2 murder counts because they had 2 theories about how the presumed killing may have taken place. Either Frazee killed Berreth by himself, or he and someone else allegedly tried to rob Berreth before she was killed. So, it's a little bit more information, but Frazee remains in police custody without bond. He has not yet entered pleas to the charges, and his criminal attorney could not be reached for comment. It is unclear if Frazee has representation in the civil case. Authorities are investigating the second person, an Idaho woman, in the case. They believe she might have helped dispose Berreth's phone. Multiple outlets reported. So it's not 1, 2. There's many people sharing this same information. Okay, so that's something else. 3 days after Berreth's apparently vanished, Berreth's mobile phone pinged on a cell tower near Gooden, Idaho, nearly 600 miles away from her home, police have said. That same day, texts from the phone of Berreth were sent to an employer, Doss Aviation, saying she would not be at work for the next week. Okay, now they're going to talk about their relationship. The status of Frazee and the woman's relationship, Berreth, remains something of a mystery, with relatives saying Berreth had ended the engagement weeks before vanishing, and others had claimed Berreth and Frazee split the day of the alleged killing. And that's something that I felt that happened, and a lot of other people, I think, felt the same way. I haven't had time to read comments to keep up lately. I'm struggling just to get this out there. And anyways, we all felt like, you know, he was trying to find a way to keep that daughter of his. That's the way I felt. He would do anything to do that. Okay, guys, I want you to pay attention to this map that I'm pulling up. The Fountain landfill here. This is not too far from Colorado Springs, and not too far from the area Frazee lives. So, this is where we're getting new information on where they're starting to investigate. They're now looking for her body, and they are on a mission. And I think we're going to start seeing some results pretty soon. We hope so. Because I'm in a hurry, I'm just trying to get this out there. We're going to have to reread a few things. So bear with us and we'll get to it. Okay. So yeah, that's not very far at all. Berreth, a flight instructor and mother of a 1-year-old daughter, has last seen on Thanksgiving, is presumed dead. Her fiance, 32-year-old Patrick Frazee, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of solicitation to commit first-degree murder in connection to her disappearance. When bodies end up in landfills, law enforcement experts say it takes large amounts of resources to find them. Temperatures in the landfills can often are cooler than on the surface, which slows the rate of decomposition, says Melissa Connor, the director of Forensic Investigation Research Station at Colorado Mesa University. More important than heat is time, she says. Even with the cold weather, nearly 2 months have passed since Berreth's disappearance. Does not bode well with the chances of finding her, Connor says. The faster you get in and do the search, the more likely you're going to find the target, she said. When Detective Sergeant Barry, I'm not going to say that last name, of the Boulder Police Department heard the news that Berreth's investigators might search the landfill, his first thought was he wanted to help. Barry helped lead a team from Boulder that spent the month combing an Arkansas landfill for the parts of a dismembered body of Ashley Mead, a Boulder woman who was murdered by her ex-boyfriend back in February 2017. The summer heat beat down on the Boulder team as the investigators clawed open bags of trash with heavy potato rakes. And each bag was a hope of finding a piece of Mead and being able to help the case and give closure to the family. They would stop at each discarded newspaper, checking the date to see if they might be near the right spot. Valentine's cards were good signs. Christmas wrapping, not so much. It was hard work, but we knew we were doing it for the right reason, Barry said. The Boulder team never did find any of Mead's remains in that landfill. Okay, we're going to discuss this a little bit. But guys, please keep in mind, I had to throw this together and I have audio in different rooms, so it's going to sound different in spots. And if I can, I'll try to redo it later. So it seems the heat is on to find Berreth's body. And for several reasons. A lot of it is to bring closure to the family, and that's really important. I have to say, I really feel like Patrick Frazee has led them on a wild goose chase. He had many days to prepare for this. And I think he probably read a lot of the stories like on Chris Watts and stuff like that to actually prepare for what he's doing and hiding the body and everything. So I want to show you something else moving forward. Okay, I have something I want to share. There's a map I'm about to pull up here. You notice here, this is where Chris Watts' case took place. And below that is where the mass shooting was at the theater. Then we have Berreth, a few miles to the south. Okay, so actually, I'm wrong. So this is where Landfield is. However, this is the area Patrick lives in. So it's pretty linear, I think. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is where they've got supposedly the search warrant issued. It's a landfill in Fountain, Colorado. Okay, so we're not positive because they're just not telling us much at this moment. So, but here's a better picture of that landfill. It's pretty big. Okay, now I want to play a news clip that I found quite informative. It's not super up to date, but it's a nice clip.
On a missing mother turned murder case, a couple in Idaho claims to have information on an alleged plot to kill Kelsey Berreth. The 29-year-old mother vanished from Woodland Park after Thanksgiving. 11 News reporter Catherine Silver joins us live in the studio. And Catherine, Kelsey's fiance, Patrick Frazee, is charged with her murder. We know detectives are questioning a woman in Idaho, but she's not facing any charges right now. This is Krystal Lee. She is a nurse from Twin Falls who reportedly visited Colorado as recently as November, the same month Kelsey Berreth vanished. She's now a new focal point in this investigation. In handcuffs and in custody for the murder of his missing fiancée.
Patrick, tell me about Krystal.
Patrick Frazee is the only person so far facing charges for the death of Kelsey Berreth. But investigators believe he did not act alone.
We filed under two theories. One is deliberation murder, and the other is felony murder. We also have three separate counts of solicitation.
Detectives are now investigating this woman, Krystal Lee, hundreds of miles away in Idaho, where Berreth's phone pinged days after she vanished.
I think she cared for him, and he took advantage of that.
Patty and Joe Rockstar employ one of Lee's best friends, who came to them with information about Frazee and Kelsey's disappearance.
I think he had some type of hold on her.
On Lee's last trip to Colorado, the Rockstars say their employee begged her not to go.
Because she was worried about Krystal. She was very concerned that she was going to meet someone that had asked her to murder someone.
That was in November, the same month Kelsey was last seen. They say Frazee and Lee started their relationship after high school, and the two owned horses together.
Krystal was so scared. He was so angry that he said things that made Krystal think he had killed before.
The Rockstars claim Frazee asked Lee to help kill Kelsey Berreth, but Lee refused. They believe it's possible she helped Frazee dispose of evidence, so they went to the FBI.
I think she got in over her head. I think she maybe used some bad judgment, but if I were afraid for myself or my children, I don't know what I would do.
Rockstars have never met Krystal Lee. They only know of her through their employee. Lee is not facing any charges right now in connection to the disappearance of Kelsey Berreth. We're told she is being questioned by detectives, and she is cooperating.
As I said before, the story is very heartbreaking for me. And I really wish that they were able to recover her alive, but I guess that's not going to happen. I hope the family at least gets a closure that they're looking for. I'll be looking at comments. I enjoy looking at the comments about this story. A lot of you guys really have some interesting things to say, and I'll just keep up with the story the best I can and try to update when I can for those of you that might like these videos. If you don't, that's okay. But I'm going to give you a quick view of a story I'm working on right now. It's a short story, and it's about a really young guy. He's a gay rapper in Puerto Rico. They're not sure why he was shot yet. There's not a lot of information on him, so that's why I'm holding back a little bit before I post the story. But Kevin Fred, Puerto Rican rapper, he was just shot dead for no reason. Thanks for watching, guys.